See, Mr. Rajiv, in VMware, as a person, what is your strategy for meeting the current requirement, also the future requirements, which is going to be 10 times more?
Thanks for the question. And as you rightly mentioned, we have a good cross-section of industry sitting, and you have a great experience sitting on this dais right now. So one common thing that came out from everybody is the fact that the speed at which the companies are growing, every industry is growing, is much higher than what it used to be maybe 5 years or 10 years back, right? So nobody is actually ready to wait for something which is an ask right now. So innovation is the key, because everybody is innovating in their own way. So innovation is something that every industry is adopting. So in terms of agility, so if you look at maybe some time back, people used to request something, the business used to request something, and the IT used to respond to that. At that time, IT was just a support function all that while. So it is completely changing right now. So IT is actually seen as a business enabler these days. It is gone are the days when people just call you for changing a hard disk or a RAM or so on and so forth. So nobody has time to sit and listen to that, right? So innovation is definitely the key there, and IT is a pure enabler in the entire factor. So as somebody mentioned, automation plays a major role in making sure that the entire business is agile. So that's precisely where cloud comes into picture, to make sure that the entire IT is agile enough to kind of respond to the needs. So let me take a couple of steps back, right? So VMware being a technology leader, so we started off our flagship innovation that we had maybe 15-20 years back was a compute virtualization platform. So initially when people came and asked for servers, they used to wait for days and weeks. The people used to order servers and come, right? So then from then on, when people started adopting virtualization, everybody started getting servers at a much faster pace. So people used to kind of take out servers in minutes. With the click of a button, you turn out the server and give it to the users. People are very happy, more so because it is completely hardware agnostic. No matter which hardware is sitting below, it doesn't really matter. You click of a button, the hardware and the server is given out. That's when we understood that there's much more to the entire data center than a server. So there are other binding components within the data center, like the network, storage, your firewalls, your load balancers, and so on. So what used to happen was, even though the server is out in a minute, the rest of the components actually takes days and weeks to kind of get adopted. So that's when a couple of years back, VMware coined a term which we call the software-defined data center. So what we wanted to do was, what we did to the compute, we wanted to do to the entire data center. So let me start with network, right? So what we did was, in short, whatever intelligence that the hardware switch has right now, we took it out from the hardware layer and put it onto the software layer. So what it means that, again, it's going to be hardware agnostic. Whichever hardware is actually sitting below on the network transport layer, it just doesn't matter. What matters is the software which is going to run on that. So whatever that we did for compute, we did for network. So click of a button, all the policies, all the configurations, and so on were kind of getting done at a much faster pace. So the same kind of innovations we brought down to the storage layer as well. So in effect, what we've done is, the software is kind of defining the entire data center operations for the company. Now, this becomes a building block to the entire automation piece that we spoke about, which is a part of the cloud, right? So like it or not, every company needs to adopt cloud, or they are on the way to adopt cloud, because that's where the agility is going to happen for the entire industry. Now, having this software-defined data center, so we have the orchestration layer which is sitting on top of the entire infrastructure, which would enable you to make sure that the entire automation of the process happens. Plus, we speak about cloud, everybody speaks about cloud. So cloud is actually a relative word, because we do have traditional apps which is still sitting on-site, on-prem, that needs to run on-prem. And we do have applications which is SaaS-based, and the modern applications which would run on the cloud. So our model, or our CMP, which we call it the cloud management platform, would enable the customer to make sure that both the clouds, which is private or public, is maintained at the same level of security and compliance, and at the same level of ease. So this is a hybrid model that we call it. We call it the hybrid cloud, which would make sure that the customer's experience doesn't change, be it public or private cloud. Now, having the entire infrastructure and the automation done for the application access, we actually play outside the data center, which is the endpoints, right? So we have technologies to make sure, because these days everybody comes into the organization not just with one laptop. We have a mobile phone, different kinds of mobile phones, and so on and so forth, right? So we have innovations around that side as well to make sure that no matter where the employee is sitting, so the employee needs to have the same kind of experience to kind of access any device, any application sitting there. So in summary, in short, what we're saying is VMware is enabling the customers to make sure that any employee accesses any application, be it public cloud, on-premise cloud, or public or private, from one single cloud. So any applications, any device from one single cloud is the vision that we're going with.
Fantastic. So when the through innovation and the scaling up of business is taking place, if the backend system is not supporting to that extent, then it will be pulled down. So the speed of the backend system should be much more faster than the speed of our business. Then only we will be in a position to meet any challenges. Only when the braking system is very efficient, you will be in a position to run at 160 kilometers, 180 kilometers. If you have got a doubt on that one, then you will have a problem. Unless we have people like VMware and bringing that innovation and the software-defined data center, and also a higher amount of computing capabilities, we will not be in a position to meet that. Okay. Quick round. What is that you are going to do in next 1 year? Quickly.
Now, the technology adoption is increasing day by day. So the smaller companies, for bringing technology for their business, they are not in a position to set up the infrastructure, all the IT systems. So these category of people are moving to the cloud kind of solution. Fantastic. They need to have different mobile apps, different kind of solution, but that is the thing when I'm getting the feeling from the
centralized innovation system such that all people can make use of it.
Yeah.
Very good. Cross-fertilization is also possible in your area.
Yeah.
Okay. In your area, sir. Abraham.
So we're going to concentrate on GST.
GST. Okay, right. Okay.
That is what we dread.
Okay. The GST is hygiene anyway you got to do. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Anyway. Or meeting the GST requirement itself is a big thing. Okay, anyway, we cannot ignore that one, because absence of which you will not be in a position to do business at all, because everything is depending upon that one. Yeah.
On our side, see, actually we are into so many things. Currently as well as in the next few years.
Any two.
And one is IoT. And we are bringing up new products with IoT enabled, and some of our water heater products have already come. It's about 1 year. And we are bringing up IoT enabled inverters and fans and all, which will be intelligent, and the capability will be that we can control it. At the same time, that equipment can send the message for any customer service calls and all. It is so intelligent, and it's coming up. And the next point is on e-commerce, and we are already in the marketplace on Amazons and all. We are already present. And we are going aggressive on e-commerce, and in the last year we sold about 5 crore. And please understand, out of the 5 crore, 4.5 crore has come out of one city, Bangalore alone. So we see a huge potential for e-commerce for our products, and in the next few years, at least 100 crore will sell through that channel.
So people, you can all wait for a day that based on your body temperature and also the atmospheric temperature, your water heater is automatically adjusting the heat.
Yeah, there are many more, but I'll just cut it here.
Yes, Mr. Jacob. Yeah.
A few priorities for my organization is one is to implement an IRM solution, so to protect our critical assets.
Fantastic.
IRM is information rights management. So, and the other one is implementing the hyper-converged infrastructure. Oh. So products like Nutanix are going to implement in all.
Fantastic. Fantastic. See, as Mr. Rajiv has already put it, the IT has been a back-end system about 20 years back, and it has become an enabler. But guys, I can all tell you one thing. The IT should be a driver also. Why IT cannot be a driver? Okay. In many companies, in Uber, IT is a driver. In Ola, IT is a driver. We can also make our manufacturing and other things as a driver. How? We have to think about it. Okay, that One or two things are all definitely possible. Suppose service itself is a profit center. If you look at it, how you can digitize the service function itself, such that that itself become a profit center. We can even start working on. So we should not just stop with only enabling. Enabling is only a service. Okay, go beyond that one. Be a leader. That's what my conclusive remarks. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us.